What's up? What's up, everybody? Guess what is finally here? It's on the screen. You don't have to guess. Like, Bagel, I got a really good feeling I'm going to be able to guess. I'm going to be able to guess what it is. Is it the 6th year anniversary Hall of Heroes number 2? The second 6th year anniversary Hall of Heroes. I got a really good feeling I'm going to get this. What do I win? Bagel, what do I win? Okay, so the 6th year anniversary Hall of Heroes is here. I know half of you are already choosing Gemini regardless. And I think that's actually a pretty good choice because like Dark 4-star, right? It's pretty easy to get these monsters. I mean, you could just get bad RNG and you could wait a while to actually get them. But compared to LD 4-stars, it's very hard to get any LD 4-stars. I'm sitting here, there's still 7 accounts, there's still LD 4-stars I've never pulled after years, right? On any account, right? So it's very hard to get the LD 4-stars. So if you're looking just straight away, just TLDR, if you're looking at the lighter dark ones, those are your best options. I would recommend going with them. But we will also do a video. We'll take a look at all the different ones. In addition to that, because I know some people are going to, I want Galleon Skill-Ups, I want Lucian Skill-Ups. You'll eventually get the Galleon and Lucian Skill-Ups. You may never get the option to get these 2 units again. And they're pretty nice. They're both strippers. You can put both of these on Swift. You could also put them both on Despair. Very fast, good accuracy. That's what you want in them. Very fast, good accuracy, either on Swift or Despair for them, and they're 2 good LD strippers. So we're gonna take a look at all of these different monsters. I was gonna say side by side, not side by side. We'll do a little recap on all these different monsters, see what they do, test them out in their native habitat. We'll test them out in their native habitat. This is a perfect example of using a Swift Gemini in RTA. It's a pretty popular comp with Okeanos, with Ganymede, with another stripper speed lead. Sometimes you see Chiwu in this comp as well, but of course the opponent picked out the Chiwu. So it's going to get turn 1, strip. This is a Swift Gemini. Strip defense break. This is going to be a very fast Ganymede, a very fast Okeanos. Everything's going to come in and control before the enemy even has a chance to do anything. And then all this damage that Okeanos is going to do on top of all those defense breaks. Even though a lot of people like to run Okeanos as a control unit, he still can do a decent amount of damage with his skill 3, right? With his skill 2 as well. But yeah, this is a team with again Swift Gemini, and actually a few different streamers like Obabo and Make It a Bud used to use a team very similar to this with the Okeanos. There's a couple different units you can use. Like I know you saw that he was running it with the dark Chiwu, the dark Pioneer, not dark Chiwu, dark Pioneer. But you can run it with Chiwu as well, right? So you can run it with Chiwu as well, and then you have the other strip, right? So it'd be a Swift Chiwu as well. But so especially if you have Savannah, right? Like these comps actually on both sides were fairly similar. Outspeed, couple speed leads, strip, defense break, nuke, attack gauge, pushback, etc., right? So actually, yeah, it's a pretty nice comp. Very fast. You want to run this very fast though. You can't be like, I have a plus 150 speed on Gemini on Swift. Like that's not gonna cut it. But this is one option for a Swift Gemini because he has a strip and he has a speed lead as well, right? Kind of similar to how Chiwu is popular in the meta. Same kind of concept. Chiwu, strip, speed lead on Swift. This next one is a Despair Gemini. So the nice thing about Despair Gemini is, I mean, he can strip stun. A lot of things that have strips are really good, fast, and on Despair, right? So he's actually kind of slow considering. He should be faster, but we can use him like this. So he's just speed, HP, and accuracy. He's got 100% accuracy because you want him to actually strip things instead of being like, nah, I don't need him to strip things. We'll take him in with Tanya, which was another Hall of Heroes unit. And we can take him into things like, for example, a really nice against this because Chandra's going to come in, he's going to do his hug, and then he just strip it off because he strips it off as part of a passive. Theo Mars has his Endure, which we just strip it off because strips it off as part of his passive. So let's do this because we don't want to Fallen Blossoms. Bagel, we love Fallen Blossoms. What are you talking about? Oh my God, you're gonna it's not let us hear Fallen Blossoms? Oh my goodness. I was really waiting for him. You know what? We should have watch Chandra win. Oh, that'd be hilarious. We gotta do this to hope for another proc. We actually probably should have stripped that off. Oh, there we go. One of the benefits of Despair Gemini. And then we should have, never mind, we don't have it available. But this is another, again, 2 Hall of Heroes units, because we just had the Tanya Hall of Heroes recently as well. And then there you go. Tanya and Gemini. This next one, we're going to see a Bering gameplay. This is actually, the one on the left is DVR Bomber. If you guys maybe have been playing a while, you remember the name. But he's actually, he hasn't been playing too much RTA lately, but he used to be G3. So he's a really, it's deceptive that you think like, oh, he's a C3. Like, no, he's actually really solid. He's a really solid player. So he gets turn 1. He's on Swift. He silences both the Veligil and the Monkey. He doesn't get the silence on everything, but at least he's got the friend in there for the immunity. So now it's going to be an uphill battle to try to get this Gani Hathor to perform. Then we have the dots. There you go. And that was easy. It seems like a weird comp. It's like, what is this comp? But he actually uses this. It's not even like a gimmick Dark Bomber. He's like, he loves this Dark Bomber. He absolutely loves the Dark Bomber. He uses him all the time. Even in higher level than C3. But like I said, he hasn't been playing too much this season. There's just some Dark Bomber is actually pretty good. Let's see some more actually. This one's even better. It's both Hall of Heroes unit. Well, both the LD Hall of Heroes units. Gemini and Bering. Like, Bagel, those are the only choices in my mind. You just said both Hall of Heroes units. That's exactly what. Okay, so bans the Juno, right? Bans the Juno against the G1 player again. Bummer is a very solid player. He gets resisted. That looks like it's, yep, that's a Despair, Gemini. So, let's see what we can do. All those dots. He's got a condition. You know what, we should take a look at that condition for his dots again. Yeah, dots again, and then dots again. Reckless Assault, so he takes out the, I mean, that's kind of like the DPS in the team is all of those dots. So let's see if he can make a comeback with even losing one of these units. Like us down. It's all about the stuns, making sure he gets all those CCs. So he's going to turn cycle, he's going to get a lot of CCs. And you're seeing, again, another Gemini and Okeanos team. Gemini is Strip Okeanos, Gemini Okeanos, Ganymede, all very solid. But he still has a lot of strips available with that Gemini. Look at that. That just nullified everything Veligil did, and then some, right? And then got a defense break on top of that, so. Pretty solid, and we got to see actually 2 of them being used, beating a G1 player, 2 of these Hall of Heroes used, and Vertiheal Fusion unit. One of the nice things about being me is that all of this stuff that we need when we need it is already built, right? I already have all these random things from who knows how long ago already built and just sitting in storage waiting to be used. So this is June the Fire Samurai. Another option. Again, I think that you should go with either the Gemini or the Bering just because they're so hard to get. June is okay. He's not that bad actually. He's got AoE damage and a defense break. You know, he has a single target damage with continuous damage. It's actually pretty big damage. And then he has this a shield, generates a shield which is proportional to your level, lasts for 1 turn. This also does substantial damage that ignores all beneficial effects. So like invincibility, like for example the Light Lich, right, for defense. So let's take this in and let's see how we can do. And we're using, of course, the Fire Succubus as well. Vega, and you're also using Tiana. Yeah, okay. I know we're using Tiana. I just want to make it reliable strip, right? So we'll do Brutal End. Increase cooltime, and then we'll do this Flame Slash, and we'll see how much damage he has. 100% crit rate, so he's gonna crit on everything, right? He actually did not do that much damage. Well, I mean, he's speed slot too, but I kind of wanted him to do some more damage. So let's do one of these, and then let's just do. I mean, we could sort of Scream Skywolf, but we don't actually need. It's only single target. When there's a single target, this is actually more damage. This double slash. So, she didn't have a defense break, but you get the idea. Next monster to test is Barque the Wind Pirate Captain. So, in my opinion, I'm not too crazy about Barque, aside from the fact that his suit is super pimp. He's a wind DPS unit, right? He's got the first skill is a defense break, the second skill pushes back attack gauge, and it's the same as Galleon's, right? Same first and second skill as Galleon. But Galleon is used because his third skill is awesome. Barque has a shoot and slash third skill, backspin slash, which connects to a pirate strike on an enemy target. What is that? It's the backspin slash defense break, and then big single target nuke, right? So I mean, his attack is 769. I mean, there's better attacks, right, in the game, and he's first off, he requires that defense break to actually land, so you have to put DPS on him and also accuracy because everything requires accuracy. On the bright side, he does have technically 2 skills that defense break and 2 skills that do attack age pushback. So he does have that. He's really, the only place I would really use him is Giant Speed 10 and Ice Rift Beast. That's about it. I really don't think that he's an efficient unit to build as far as like, you know, maximizing your like, if you're like, okay, I'm free to play. I want to make sure that whatever I build is useful everywhere. It's like Crow and Lauren are useful in way more places than Barque. Barque's like, yeah, I kill you for saying that. Like, I'm sorry, Barque. Okay, let's take him into to Giant Speed 10 and let's actually see how much damage he does. But that's really the only place that I would use him. Maybe some Guild Wars, but you're better off just using Lucian or Copper. Here we are in Giant Speed 10. We're going to test him out in the place that he's basically meant for. Just Giant Speed 10. We're going to see how much damage he can do. He should be critting, and he should be doing at least 50% of the health on this golem. Okay, so a little bit more than 50% of the health on the golem. But here's the real question. Why would you build him instead of... I wonder if we could just beat this with just these 3 monsters. Why would you build him instead of Crow, right? Crow has a defense break too. Crow has a brand, and Crow does big damage, and he's also useful in many more things than just the whatchamacallit, just Giant Speed 10. So let's see. Let's just put this on auto now, right? So we got actually a little bit of attack age decrease. There we go. We can just 3-man Giant Speed 10. What do we even need? So on the bright side is you could just 3-man Giant Speed 10 with Barque, which means he's super, super, super OP, right? Last on the list is none other than the Water Joker, who's been a meme in the community for the entire time the game's been out. He's been the whole time. Buff Water Joker went, right? But he's actually in this meta. We just did a video not too long ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, a week or 2 ago, on the Water Joker, because he's actually kind of usable against this team. He would be more usable if the he'd be more usable if she proc like she normally does. But yeah, there we go. So she gets as many turns as she wants, and he's slow and on Despair Revenge, just all attack power, right? Because he just dies, he comes back, and he's got his. Did I say Despair Revenge? Yeah. He dies, he comes back, and he's got his invincibility and immunity. So he's actually not a bad counter to these this currently meta Guild Siege defense. But the thing about Guild Siege defenses is they change all the time, right? So while it's usable now, another nice thing is you don't actually have to skill him up, right? But he's still not worth picking as a Hall of Heroes unit over Bering and Gemini, in my opinion, of just a niche thing that you can only really use against this. You know, let's try him out in Arena. We'll see if maybe we can bring him into an Arena thing and see how he works. Okay, I was going to try him against a fairly common arena defense in high level nowadays is the Samoth, Triton, Savannah, and Belinus. It's really gross. It outspeeds. You strip, you defense break, you increase cooldowns, you decrease attack ages. It's such a gross combination. I was like, well, Triton strips, and then there's no other strips, so we could just have the Water Joker come in, and then Savannah and Triton will be occupied trying to hit him, trying to kill him after he comes back. And then I realized that Savannah actually strips on skill 2. And I'm like, oh, he's not even a counter. He's not a counter to Savannah. Savannah's just... he's only a counter for Yen. So anyway, can't really use him against that since Savannah is just so good. Savannah's so good, man. Savannah's so good. I think maybe I just gotta save my stones for some Beast Riders, right? Save my summon stones. Anyway, recap at the end. What do we think about all of them, right? I'm gonna say the same thing as in the beginning. I really feel like you guys should pick the light or dark ones because, I mean, unless you have him, you're just looking for skill ups. If you're just looking for skill ups, that's a different story. Do you need Lucian skill ups? Do you need Galleon skill ups? That's basically that's the next question, right? Do you need Malaka skill ups? Maybe you have the Light Bomber. Light Bomber's amazing as well, right? So if you need those, if you already have all the units, then what do you need the skill ups for the most? However, in terms of overall usefulness, I would say Gemini number 1. So I really feel like you should go for one of the light or dark ones. Gemini number 1, Bering number 2. Bering is underrated though, in my opinion. Bering is actually pretty nice. Gemini, Bering. June, not that bad. He's got AoE defense break. He's got AoE damage, right? He's got single target damage, big damage. He's actually not that bad. I would say Gemini, Bering, June, and then who do I feel? Do I still feel like this? What do I feel like is better than... Honestly, You just use Crow. Like, if you want to build something that has single target, defense break, and DPS, just use Crow. There's other stuff too that's like really strong that does that. But you don't really need him. He was a thing back in the day for Giants B10 like 3-4 years ago, but you don't really need him. He's a meta counter this month, but next week even, he could be changed, right? The thing with Siege is it's constantly changing meta, right? As soon as, the top level guilds, basically, as soon as they figure out how to beat a certain defense, then the other guilds have to change their defenses, right? So the defenses are constantly changing to make sure that they win, to make sure that people don't have the counters for them. So right now he's a counter to a meta 4-star defense, but that's going to be a different story next week, right? So I feel like 1, 2, 3 in terms of how good they are, in terms of what you should consider getting. Gemini, Bering, June, Water Joker maybe, and Windpire Captain, right? So anyway, that's it for this one. I feel like most people would have already guessed that though. They'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, just use a light dark 4-star unless I have them both and I need skill ups for another Nat 4. But anyway, I just wanted to show you some of them in action so we could actually see some gameplay with them before we decide. Anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you as always in the next one.